Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Investing 2021 discussions every night from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. If you need to leave, just type in the chat box and go. I want to remind everyone just to keep yourself on mute, just to reduce any background noises. And a little quick disclaimer is that this great city isn't a financial, accounting, or legal firm. So any advice that you hear on the show has nothing to do with this great city. Even though I represent a financial firm that does offer financial, accounting, and legal advice, that's completely separate from this great city. Now, before we dive in, let's talk about the stock market. There's been a recent decline over worries of the United States' recent election uncertainties. You got COVID-19 resurgence, and it's finally hitting the minds of average investors to sell and wait until the coast is clear. Now, this has caused major shifts. In the foreign exchange market today, the US dollar actually has strengthened over all major currencies as the safe haven destination with slow recoveries across the globe. So we have a special guest tonight. Her name's Amber, and she will be providing a glimpse into the Forex trading with artificial intelligence software that can generate your hard-earned money with 1 to 5% returns a week. Now, for any questions, just please leave them for the Q&A sessions towards the end. I'll pass it over to Amber now. The stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is just information tonight, so I just want everyone to relax and take any notes, any questions that come up. We're going to go over quite a little bit of information here. And for most of you, maybe if not all, it's going to be something that you haven't quite seen before in this application. So we're just going to take it easy, pay attention, write down anything you want to ask, and we'll go over it at the end, as Steven said. Again, my name is Amber, and I have been involved in this industry for quite some time. I have been a die-hard software user from the beginning. So just like you, possibly, I have no experience with manual trading. I participate solely using software. And I am fortunate enough to be partnered with some of the top earners in this company, as well as experts of the Forex industry themselves. So I'm just going to share my screen here. Just give me one moment. Should have done that first. So I'm with Auvoria Prime. They provide the softwares that I'm using. We exist to make Forex affordable and accessible to average people, just like me, just like you. We do this by leveraging, as we mentioned, artificial intelligence in the form of software programs. Now, the thing about these products that we're using is they're not brand new to the marketplace. Corporations, hedge funds, banks, venture capital firms, professional traders, they've been using this type of software for the better part of a decade. And historically, they have done extremely well, up in the tens of millions of dollars over the course of time. And I'm being very modest there with my numbers. So just like Steven, also got to provide a little bit of a disclosure. Forex is extremely risky. It is no joke. Never, ever, ever trade with money that you can't afford to lose. If people are putting their mortgage payments in here, bad idea. Let's just turn it around a little bit. There is no holy grail of trading. Our softwares can significantly reduce your risk. But if anybody ever tells you guarantee and Forex in the same paragraph even, please run the other way. So our softwares are not designed to create millionaires overnight. There is no get rich quick plan in anything trading. It really doesn't exist. Our plan here is simple. We just want to give people a way to compound their money over time, get a higher return than most other investment options that are available to regular people are going to offer. and basically help people get on the right track to designing the future that they want. So if you take a look at the life of a professional trader, or even somebody that's learning how to trade, it is a massive, massive time investment, so much so that it essentially becomes I'm just going to shut my screen off here because I'm distracting myself. So much so that it actually becomes the equivalent of a full-time job in itself. For most people, especially if you're well into your life or even, in your 30s, you have a full-time job. Most likely you have kids, you have a social life, and trying to jam another full-time job into that, it's just really not possible for most people. So we give people the option to be able to work smarter rather than harder within these markets. If you look at technology, it has made our lives so easy in so many ways that, it's even hard to remember what life used to be like before a lot of this tech came out in the last 10 years. And it's being used to compound money and generate wealth all over the place. And it is absolutely amazing. As we mentioned before, the banks, they have been using software. In fact, they've been using one of the softwares that we have to take your high interest savings account, compound it, double the money, triple the money, quadruple the money, 200, 300, 400%. And what do we see at the end of the year? 1, 2, 3, if you're very lucky, percent. It's extremely possible to cut that middleman out and take advantage of the profits that they've been using or getting with the money that you give them. So the vehicle that I've been using to do just this has been Forex. It has offered me time freedom and possibilities that I just never knew were possible before I discovered this. For those of you on here who have no clue what Forex is, we're just going to very, very mildly touch on it. Forex is short for foreign exchange. It is the largest, most liquid market, financial market in the world. $6 trillion every day is traded on it, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. It is closed all day Saturday, opens Sunday until Friday evening. You really don't need a lot of money to start trading Forex. Options, things like that. You need a high capital investment with Forex. You can open a broker account with as little as $50. You don't need any special licenses to trade. And you can essentially trade it from anywhere in the world as long as you have an internet connection and some form of device. Now here's the big but. 95% of people that try their hand in these markets fail miserably. So 5% of the world actually ever makes it. The number one reason for this is emotions. The psychology of trading is more important than the technical side, hands down. Anybody can learn the technical side. Not everybody can manage their emotions. In trading, the philosophy is win more than you lose. So losing money is just going to be a constant thing. And most people are not able to emotionally detach from those types of scenarios. And poor decision making becomes a big spiral until there's essentially nothing left. We already touched on the time. If you don't have the time to commit to it, it just won't work out. And then, the last two here, having access to a community, proven coaches or training systems, it can take a really long time to build this up. And especially on the emotional management side, if you don't have a community of support, it'll be very difficult to manage that side of things. So this is kind of where we come in. I love disruption. That's what we've done. We've disrupted this entire statistic. It is an entire paradigm shift. We went out and we looked at over 100 different tools that are being used in the market. We went back as long as 5 years. We looked at all the historical data and the success of each of the tools. If that checked out, we moved into looking at user friendliness being the big one. We wanted to be able to have our tools be used by someone that's never seen anything like this in their life, and experienced traders alike. We looked at the least amount of capital to get started using each tool. Again, we talk about affordability, and we wanted to maintain that. And then we looked at how accommodating each one was to people that have very limited time. So that was all those things were very important, and we considered them in all of the decision making. So from there, we created the Auvoria Prime Marketplace. So basically what this means is that we have multiple software tools that people can choose from. We actually have 6. And not only do we have the highest level of diversification in the Forex technology space, we also offer full support and coaching through the entire process. We want our customers to win. That's just it. Like, we never leave people up to their own devices. We understand that we're creating this for people that have never seen trading or Forex before. So having a full onboarding process and a whole system to guide you through and ensure that you're using the products properly was very important to us. So it really comes down to access. We have a number of different packages that we offer to people, and in order to determine, the level of diversification that you want, it really comes down to your goals and how quickly you want to achieve them. And it also comes down to, how much money you have to work with. So if somebody's wanting a really simple experience and they just, they're young, they just want to compound some money over time, Bronze Pass all the way. This is one software tool. If you want to get into real diversification, someone has multiple financial goals that they're looking to achieve, kids going to university, car, house, whatever it might be, that's when we get into, full diversification. Silver gives you 2, gold with 3, and platinum with 4. I always have a discovery process with my customers and make sure that the product that they're getting is going to match the budget they have, the goals, and everything all combined. So I just want to backpedal a bit. So I don't want to say that I'm knocking manual trading. We actually love the skill set of manual trading here. It's such a valuable tool to have. You can never have anyone take that away from you. You can use it anywhere in the world. So for those of our customers that are looking to try their hand at that, we offer a full education platform as well. So it's designed from the most basic level all the way up to advanced level professional strategies. So anybody can use this platform. It's designed by one of the best educators in the Forex space. People can learn how to trade, but not everybody can teach it. It's a very, very dry subject to learn. I find myself falling asleep listening to the videos. With our director of education, Adeze Duncan, she's very engaging. She's funny. It's about as upbeat as you can possibly get. And being a global company, we have it available in multiple languages. On top of that, again, I mentioned earlier, we want our customers to win. So we actually have 2 other resources that provide that to people. Mr. Stephen Vetterell, he is a certified financial advisor. He has over 18 years of experience on Wall Street, Forex, portfolio management experience. He actually hops on 2 weekly calls with our customers on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesdays is a strategy on how to, exit the markets if your software hasn't already done that. And on Saturdays, it's going to be going over what the markets are showing for the week ahead and anything that you need to consider. And then we also have the developers of each software that come on a weekly call as well for the customers. This is a place where you can ask questions and engage with them. And if anybody can't make those calls, of course, they're always recorded. Just want to quickly touch on the foundation that we are built on, and I'm so impressed by this. Each member of our team are experts of their respective fields. And you can see on here, we actually don't even have a CEO, and we've done this intentionally. There's no one person that actually makes any decisions for this company. And on top of that, we actually have an advisory board comprised solely of our customers, and they have a full say in any decisions and directions that the company wants to go. So, we believe in sustainability. If we're talking about compounding money over time, we need to be around for a really long time, and the foundation that we're built on is super, super important. So there are actually some more benefits of working with Auvoria Prime and using our products. We've gone over a few of them. I want to highlight the most important one to me and most people is that we are a software company. We are not an investment bank. We are not taking anybody's money. Any transactions that you make are done solely through you and your broker. You can choose whatever broker you want. We don't push anyone in one direction or the other. I personally can recommend brokers that I've used, but Auvoria Prime as its own entity has no business in your broker account. The second most important thing on here is you have full control over your settings. So, you know, I might be extremely risky with my money, but, you know, Catherine might be extremely conservative. So through the settings of the software, it actually will not even run until you dictate to the software how risky or conservative you want to be with your money. And as I mentioned before, we have a full onboarding process that's set up as if you've never seen this before. So when I say settings, you'll get all of the information you need about how to make an educated decision on what that looks like for you through the onboarding process. And on top of all of that, if you want to run a demo account with the software, that is available to you as well. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically monopoly money in live market conditions. Also something that I really highly recommend to anybody that is new to this or even new to a specific software. So it really comes down to, like, if you want to use this product, you have to decide how diversified you want to be and how diversified you can afford to be. So that's where the price comes in. So we'll quickly go over this. We talked about what each Access Pass package entails. So essentially each subscription, AKA Access Pass, is going to cost $99. On top of that, we have a $20 VPS fee. VPS is virtual private server. This is basically a cloud. So the software will never be downloaded on your personal computer. And we do this to protect your own money. If the software is on your computer and someone even shuts your laptop, the internet goes out, the power goes out, the laptop gets stolen, whatever life events happen, you don't have to worry about your money being, you know, the software stopped running. It will continue to run no matter what. We also have an $80 activation fee for the first month. And that's going to give you lifetime access to our education platform, whether you remain a customer or not. We also have an amazing customer rewards program. From my experience, I was brand new to this, never did trading, never saw Forex, never saw anything. I started using this product. I was completely mind blown that nobody had told me about this 10 years ago or even 2 years ago. I was into my 30s already. Once I saw it running and saw what it was capable of doing, it's extremely hard to not want to talk about it. If that is you and you try it out, you're having a good experience and you want to get your cost of compounding your money be absolutely free, we offer that to those that want. 2 customers that have 3 access passes between them. And as long as they remain paying customers, your software will be free. It's not just for 1 month, it will be for the whole duration of having them as customers. So that's pretty, like, in a nutshell, that's it. We offer a 7-day money back guarantee, so you can try it out risk-free. If you don't like it, we don't want your money. We don't want, you know, we don't want to keep anybody unhappy. Take the money out of the broker. There's no contracts, no holds with brokers, and just call it a day. I do have historical data that I can share. I cannot share it on a public platform, however, so before we get into the Q&A, I'll post my email address and my phone number. Love the phone. If you don't feel comfortable on the phone, please email me and I can send you a few links and we can further that discussion. So we can open up the floor to Steven or questions or wherever we're supposed to go from here. I'm back.
There we go. So that was a lovely presentation. So how's everybody feeling? Any questions you want to ask Amber about? or is still everybody contemplating about it?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Sure, I have a question.
All right.
So what kind of people are your clients? Are they retail investors, or you said you have institutional clients as well, like banks and stuff?
Yeah, so the original software that we were running, it was actually created by a group of venture capital firms, and they would license it out to banks and hedge funds as a collective. The thing about that one was the algorithm was massive, and it only accommodated $500,000 and up. So we were running the developers had created specifically for us a condensed version of that algorithm to accommodate much smaller regular people balances, but that's not to say it won't work. We have people that have up to $2-3 million in the software, but the average person isn't putting that much money in. Back to your original question, our target market is pretty much anybody. We have many people in our customer base that are professional traders and want to diversify their strategies without adding additional time. And then we've got everything up to grandmothers, women, men in their 60s and 70s who just want to speed up their retirement, whatever their life situation is. So we wanted to make it accessible to virtually anybody, and that's what we've done over here. I hope that answered the question.
and my guest David had some questions.
Oh,
David.
Yeah, no, just a couple of quick things.
Sure.
Now, and I don't know if you know the answer to this one or not, because I know you're not a brokerage, but do you have any idea what a cost per trade would run?
Yeah, so it varies by broker. I always recommend people go with A fee brokers rather than B fee brokers. B fee brokers are market makers, and they essentially make their money by trading against you. I can list off some of the more common ones that you may have heard of, like Hugo's Way and stuff is definitely market makers. A fee brokers, it varies. From what I've noticed, like the style of trading that the software I've been using that they take, it's like it starts out with a couple cents for smaller trades. I wish I had an exact number to give you. It's a commission spread. So basically what they do is they take the difference between the bid and the ask price, and that's your commission. So that'll change throughout the day, actually. It really just depends. But it's very minuscule. There will be times in the day where it's higher than others, but from an overall perspective, it's not noticeable. There are certain brokers where the fees are ridiculous, but I never recommend people in that direction anyway. But you are free to choose whatever you want, really.
Okay.
But if you want, I can send you the links to the brokers that I use, and you can take a deeper dive into their commission structures and any additional costs that are associated with that.
Yeah, because not knowing how the program works, obviously, I mean, I don't know if the program's going to recommend, changes in investments, and I don't know how often, like whether it's hourly, daily, or whatever. Fees can add up very quickly if you're, doing, buying, selling, if that's what the program is recommended. So I'm just wondering,
I can show you right now. I'm not supposed to do this, but
we won't tell.
Okay. So this is one of our original softwares. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna open it up here. I wasn't gonna do this, but here we go.
Hey, we're getting to the juicy stuff.
Yeah, that's it. We can look on, sorry, I've got a million tabs open. I was doing some work today and my computer is lagging a little bit. Let's see here. I'm just logging into the back end of one account.
How old is the company, by the way?
Auvoria Prime, as it stands now, it was started in March of this year. They have had, it's a company that's been like a 2-year plan in the making. The thing about like running these kinds of softwares is like, no, we're not using anybody as guinea pigs. So like the beta testing and the back testing and the whole creation of the software as it is when it's ready to launch into the marketplace, it's not something that happens in a 6-month time period. So they're very new to the marketplace, but the products have been, you know, they've been working on this for a couple of years. Okay, let's just see here. I'm almost there.
And are you based in the States?
I am Canadian. I just moved down here to Atlanta. I moved down here to be closer to my business partners. Essentially, I was on Vancouver Island prior to this, and I wasn't growing on this level with the people I was around. No one that I'm with is investors or entrepreneurs or anything like that. So it made sense for me to come here and you know, grow a bit. I miss the island, but I need to focus on other things right now.
So my question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll
You go ahead. Okay, I'll quickly share this, and we'll just look at the back end of this. So the reason I'm not supposed to show anything is simply because I don't like we don't like mismanaged expectations. So this software is doing really well, and it's doing really well because it was set up very conservatively and was set up with the balance in mind. This is a higher balance. You do not need this much money to start. This software was started August 3rd of this year with $100,000. It is currently has a balance of $117,000. So this one's doing very well. The commission, as you can see here, David, you know, $1.80 across the board here, $6 on $104. The price was, wait, let me just see here. They changed it a little bit. We just did some upgrades, and I'm just a little lost here. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, very, very minuscule amounts. In Forex, one of the good things about it is when you get into binaries, options trading, things like that, they're notoriously well known for hidden fees, crazy high commissions, always changing, fluctuating, all of that kind of stuff. Forex is actually well known for having, but the cost between the bid and the ask can only be so much. So unless you're working like with a market maker, it's pretty straightforward across the board. And I haven't experienced with any broker that I'm using any crazy commission fees that were like astronomically high in comparison to the profit that I had made on each trade.
Okay. And what's the lag time on trades?
The what was it? Sorry.
The lag time.
Oh, for the I always forget this word. It starts with an S. Because we have it set up on the cloud. What you do, when you're setting the software up, you actually put what broker you're using. And what we do is from using the cloud is we actually can apply it to a server that is the closest to the broker that you're using. So that I think it's called I always want to say swap. I forget the name of it, but it completely eliminates that lag time of the price fluctuation between when you close the trade and you actually get your profit.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
So because of the cloud-based VPS, we're able to combat that issue.
Okay.
You mentioned about Hugo's Way. What's the difference between Hugo's Way and another brokerage?
Hugo's Way, they're a market maker. So they make money by trading against you.
Okay.
So whatever you're doing, they're doing the opposite. So they're basically coming after your money in order to make. So what happens with a lot of market makers? So for any of my professional traders, they never trade on Fridays if they're good, because what happens is the brokers have 1% of all of these companies actually make their money off of human efforts. It's all algorithms, all software. So they scan to see who's winning that week. If you're a good trader or if you're a software user and you're doing well that week, they're coming after you. it's all dictated by programs and stuff. So they make their money by going after people that are winning and doing the opposite of what they're doing and cashing in that way. That's a very basic way to explain it. But if
your
you look
suggestion would be not to trade on a Friday if like we were in any form of trades?
If you're using a market maker, no. If you're using a commission-based broker, Fridays can be volatile. If you're a manual trader, it's always a good idea. If you're up for the week, great. As a software user, if you trade on Fridays, the one thing that can happen is you get stuck in open trades over the weekend. If you're trading in the ring, which is the euro, the JPY, like Japanese yen, and the US dollar, they don't usually tend to make massive movements. If you're trading the US dollar, New Zealand dollar, it's notoriously volatile and makes huge movements. So if you're stuck in an open trade on that in the weekend, you could blow your account just in one open trade, depending on what happened, like between market close and market open. So if you're trading on volatile pairs, absolutely do not trade on Fridays. If you're trading within the ring, I've had many occasions where I've had open trades over the weekend, and I've never had anything crazy happen to me. But
so
again,
are you talking about people who enter? Okay, so if you're entering like, I think it's called stop loss or something.
Yeah, so stop loss is, let me just show you guys. So this is what I meant by settings. So this is the backbone of the software. This is your only job. This is it. You are the risk manager in a sense. And basically what that even means is that the software will, if you investigate anytime anyone's lost money using the software, it is 100% of the time the person's fault. Mostly coming down to over leverage. You got $1,000 in your account and you're trying to trade on a crazy high starting lot size. That's just not enough money to let the software do what it needs to do. So it's going to it'll run the way it's supposed to run, but if the money's not there for it to be able to do what you asked it to do, it's going to blow the account. I have never investigated any blown account and found that, oh my God, the software malfunctioned. It hasn't happened in the entire history of the software. So it does come with a stop loss. This one's set to 250 pips. 250 pips is huge. Unless like, there was a couple crazy moves during coronavirus. Anybody who was set conservatively, smartly, long-term vision in mind, their softwares were okay. It's 250 pip stop loss. Normally, you're not going to even hit that. There was one time on one day in, I want to say April, where I did hit my stop loss in one trade. But you can move that as well. Like if it gets into any sort of trouble because of some volatility, I would never recommend this to a manual trader, but you can move the stop loss to just let it do its thing, or you can take the L, whichever one you want to do. But just because the software hits a stop loss in one trade doesn't mean the account's blown. It's always going to be in multiple different trades. It's not just going to be in one big trade. That's not the strategy that it uses. This particular one anyway.
So I just wanted to finish up and ask, so being in Canada, so not necessarily Canadian, but in Canada, is there any issues doing this trading?
No, it's actually more difficult in the United States than legally. Like this company has jumped through some major hoops to be completely 100% legal. The United States was the hardest place to do that. In Canada, you actually have an advantage because in the United States, in order to legally release any trading software of this nature, an approval feature had to be added. So what that means is that before the software will take the first trade, it'll do everything else automatically. The customer needs to click approve. It shows up as just a text notification. But if you're in anywhere else in the world, or Canada or wherever, you actually don't need to do that. Forex is completely legal in most countries. If you get into Iran, India, China's a bit, depends, North Korea, obviously, those countries it's completely illegal, but it's 100%, it's an unregulated market, but so is crypto, and everybody's got that going on. So unregulated just means that the brokers aren't reporting to the IRS or any tax institutions. Your account can build up and you're never going to pay taxes on it until you pull it into your bank account from the broker account.
Yeah.
And what are the payout options?
So they vary by broker. The two ways that I have done a withdrawal have been a wire transfer into my bank account, and the other one is this payment solution, mostly for finance and crypto and Forex people. It's called Skrill. Pretty much PayPal, except directed more towards that specific industry. So it just you pull it out of the broker into your Skrill account, and then from there you deposit it into your bank account.
Okay. Quick question. I want you to make me feel good. I want you to make me smile here. It's a new company. It's been tested for a couple of years. The company's been running 6 months. I buy the platinum package here. It's costing me $400. What guarantees, or what can you guarantee me anyways? And guarantees are a hard word. I shouldn't use that.
Remember what I said?
What confidence can you give me that the company is still going to be there 6 months from now, and my money isn't just totally wasted because now I don't have access to the program anymore?
Yeah, no, fair question. So we touched on the foundation and the level of expertise that we have, and just even the simple fact that an 18-year veteran in the finance world saw the value in what we are doing to come on board and join our corporate staff. Like his mentor is a billionaire. He doesn't need another job. You know what I mean? Like, so we have that. We have over 10,000 customers worldwide already, and we've only just started, and we've just implemented a whole new showcase of these other softwares that we've been working on for the last, couple of years. So it's not, this company wasn't just started 6 months ago.
So, and I totally get the question too, because, I'm one of those poor guys. I love getting the legal letters coming in from Quadriga, if anybody remembers that little fiasco. So, and we put some money into we're dabbling in cryptocurrencies and Ripple, and of course, they went away, and so did our money, right? So, it's a really good question. So I guess the question is, since your software is just an on-ramp, right, to a system, does the money exist only in your company, or do I have access to my investments if your company and the software shuts down?
Yeah, so like all that happens. So in the VPS server, so Forex is always traded on MT4, MT5. So when you're trading like on your software or whatever, the software just connects to the broker account. Right. The broker and Auvoria Prime are two completely separate entities. As I mentioned before, like so if we disappear tomorrow, your money's still going to be in your Forex account, but you're just not going to have a software.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so in terms of like the money disappearing or anything like that, the only way the money is going to disappear is if you lose it through trading. If the software stopped running, for whatever reason, or you shut down the software, you cancel your subscription, the money's still going to be in the broker account. It's all the software does is connect to the broker account within an MT4 platform, and MT4 is Forex related, not Auvoria Prime related.
Fascinating. So someone has a subscription for 6 months. They say, I'm not doing this anymore. the money still exists in the trading account
Mm-hmm.
that they
Yeah,
can
so
still have access to. And okay,
yeah, it's just another like a wallet. So same
wow,
as like any crypto thing, like you buy it on the exchange and you get your wallet, and if you want to trade it, you take it out of the wallet. So that's kind of the same thing that's happening here. Your broker holds the money for you. Broker, separate entity from Auvoria Prime. Software connects
beautiful.
to the broker account, uses the money, but the software is like Auvoria Prime doesn't have access to that. It just connects into it.
So you can use any broker?
Any broker, yes. Again,
So
my recommendation is on one end, but if you want to use a market maker and you have a broker you already work with, be my guest. It'll work.
So basically, if you guys disappear, then the only thing that your customers really are losing out on is the package plan and the monthly investment attached to your AI software.
Right.
Yes, and we don't do contracts or terms. It's a month-to-month thing. If you want to upgrade or downgrade at any time, there's no extra fees. If you want to switch out what software you're using each week, you can do that too. There's no extra fees. So, sometimes Steven might recommend a specific software to use for certain conditions he sees coming up in the week, and he'll let you know. Then you just go turn that one on, swap them out. It sounds a little complicated, but I promise you, like, we have it set up so that, like, I'm telling you, we have like very old women who aren't even that tech savvy that can get through this, because it's like videos and constant communication and walk you through the process. Plus, like, there's always going to be me. I'm very hands-on with my customers,
So-
and I'm always available for any questions.
Time-wise, on average, what's the learning curve?
To get it up and running, 30 minutes. Set your settings, move on. Beyond that, like the more advanced applications, and getting a little bit more, like if you want to get into being a little bit more risky in an educated way, hop on a couple developer calls, 30 minutes to an hour each. So, once you've seen a couple of those calls, there's not really a whole lot more to know, if that makes sense.
So what if I'm a very conservative, keener, all right? I really want to learn a lot, but I'm risk adverse, so I don't want to do things too risky. I just want to kind of do what I'm told. You guys tell me what I should be doing, and I'm going to just do it, right? And I want to learn from you guys, so I'm learning. What, I guess, of the folks that are making money, what percentage of those people are the ones that are more risk takers, and what about the folks that just, what I'm saying is, if I follow the rules and I do what I'm supposed to do, and I don't take too many unnecessary risks, what are the chances I'm gonna lose out here?
To be like, I don't want, like, to not mismanage expectations, about 5% that you're gonna lose. I have never seen somebody who has it set up in the way it's supposed to be set up. It's being used properly. It's being used with a conservative, long-ish term game in mind, and still being able to get, that just means you might get 3% or 1% a week instead of 5 or 6. But at least you're still in the game for the long term. The risk to reward of playing the risky game in Forex is just, it doesn't make any sense, because the markets will all, if you're even a little bit greedy and you don't even realize that you're being greedy, the markets are always going to get you. Like, it's almost like they have a spirit. It's kind of weird, but the conservative long-term mindset game, it always wins. There's more mistakes than people can make than over leverage. But if your lot size is appropriate, if you're making a conscious effort to engage with it, for 30 minutes a week over the week, and you're involved even a little bit, I can't say It's
I feel you. I'm
you know what
getting
I
the
mean,
vibe.
but like
I'm feeling the energy here. I'm reading the vibe. Okay.
I
Had to
personally
ask.
have, yeah, I personally have lost money one time. I set it up wrong. I changed my broker. It changed one small thing. I opened the wrong pair. I opened like an indice pair, or so. It was something just so one-off thing, and the only reason the software or I lost the money was because it was the same week that everything happened with George Floyd, and that happened on a Wednesday. And on I think it was the Thursday or the Friday of that same week, I believe it was the Euro Japanese yen, or the US dollar Japanese yen, made a 300 pip move, and that hasn't happened in 15 years. So it was probably the worst possible day that I could have made an error like that. And it just came down to overconfidence and not checking what I was doing before I hit the go button. You know what I mean? I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing. I didn't double check what I was doing. I was in a rush and it bit me. But the amazing thing is it didn't blow the account. I made a mistake in the craziest move those markets have made in 15 years, and the software still managed to save half of my account, which was that just like reaffirmed my belief. I'm like, thank you. Okay. So I was still in the game. Everything was good. Lesson learned. I didn't have to learn it as hard as most people do. Blowing accounts happens every minute of every day. So I was very impressed, to be honest. My money, I feel
Listen,
very
I've lost
secure
money in
now.
the stock market, so I feel you. I get
It sucks,
Who
but
hasn't, right? So
I didn't lose it all. So, you know, life is good. I was still in the game, and it's built back up and then some to where I was. So all is well in my world with that mistake.
yeah, it's good to know. I mean, so basically what you're saying is that you know, the onus is still on me. I still have to make sure that I'm doing the right things. And the more that I educate myself, two things happen. The more I'll know, and then also the more I'm going to want to take risks. But don't take too many crazy risks. I get it. All right. Anybody else?
Yes, right here.
Hello.
It's kind of interesting in a way. Like I'm on. Well, this is my favorite group. Like this great city. I mean, all three.
I love you, Maggie.
Yeah. Anyway, I am on other networking groups too, which, you know, hey,
It's okay.
right, I got my name out there. And it's interesting because the one group I meet on Wednesday mornings, we do breakout rooms, and there's a guy that last couple of weeks, and he said about the Forex. We're supposed to actually set up a meeting, but interesting with his calendar thing. Now you mentioned something about, you know, like $50 or whatever you could start with. But I take it that to buy the software.
That's for manual trading.
No, I just
Okay.
Because yeah, so if you a full breakdown, like just so to put this out there for everybody, we have 6 softwares. They're all different trading strategies. Most of them are going to work optimally on $1,000 or more. $1,000 being kind of that safe spot for the software to do its job. I've seen it work on less, but you have to make some major adjustmts to the settings. We have one of our new ones. It will work on $250. And then we have one, it's a kind of a specialized software for trading gold. And it is a minimum balance of $3,000. So 1,000 being the average, 250 being the lowest, and 3,000 being the highest.
This, like, okay, I have not had a chance. I mean, these were the breakout rooms, you know, you get a minute and a half, whatever, kind of thing, and maybe a couple of questions. So I haven't really, but he's basically said more or less, you know, you can have like $300. I guess the minimum is 300 or 500 you put in at once. And he has said that, you know, things traded anywhere from 1% or something, like more than the banks. He hasn't mentioned, now again, I haven't had a chance to set up a meeting with him, like a one-on-one, which is something my other group encourages. But he has more or less, he hasn't said anything about software or anything like that. It looks like it's more, you know.
There are like some people that like, you know, they're out there promoting education platforms, stuff like that. You know, you get people that are providing, you know, human generated signals and things like that. You know, in my experience, artificial intelligence is going to win over a human every single time. It's a wild west out there.
Yeah.
Full disclaimer, in the Forex world, just be really careful. You know, I've seen it all. I've had myself scammed. I know everybody that I know that's in Forex or crypto has had something happen. In the software world.
That's what caught my thought was the mention of the Forex, because he mentioned Forex.
Yeah,
No,
in the software space, like Forex trading softwares are, like I mentioned, not new at all. It is a very common thing for manual traders that like a good trading software is incredibly hard to find. There's a lot of rinky-dink systems. I've used some myself. I've used some, you know, I've used some of the worst, and, you know, I found the best. And that's why I've taken it a step further to share about it. It's simply a very satisfied customer experience.
Okay, this is going to sound like a totally out of left field here thing, considering we're the age we're in. I mean, I'm 60, and I wish I had picked up on more. I always like to joke that my family fortune was made on Bell, which I don't share in. My daughter does, but I don't. But I always like to joke it was based on Bell Canada stock. Because I can remember, like my grandfather was, I mean, he's been gone since 92, but he was a financial genius pretty much. Now, this is long before computers, software, all that stuff. But yeah, he was, and I remember one of the few areas of my mother's intelligence were in finances, because she learned from him and she handled family finances. I won't go into my brother issues, shall we say.
Okay.
But no, what I'm saying is that can you do this on your own without software?
You can,
On
but
your
there's
own.
a 95% chance that it's not going to work out. As I mentioned before, like, you can't learn how to manually trade Forex without losing money. You can't be a professional Forex trader without losing money. Like I mentioned, the philosophy of trading is that you have to get to a point where you win more than you lose. Losing money is going to happen every single day. And the difference between somebody who can make it and not make it is their ability to emotionally detach from their money. Because it is 100% going to happen. You just have to get good enough that you're winning more often than you're losing over the course of the trading cycle. When you first get started, you know, you use a demo, of course. You demo a strategy. You figure out a strategy. You demo it until you're profitable most of the time. You start trading with real money. It's completely different than trading on a demo. Even using software, when I went from demoing into live money, it's a totally different experience. That fear comes in, the greed comes in. It's really hard to keep your head on straight and think clearly and think big picture when your money's on the line. So you can absolutely try. People have done it. I know so many. I know multiple 6-7 figure traders. I know multiple professional traders. Not a single one of them has told me it is easy, and not a single one of them has told me that they haven't blown multiple accounts to get to where they're at. So it's not for everybody.
Yeah. Like I say, with my grandfather, I mean, a lot of we've got, like, he invested in Bell Canada. I mean, we're talking years and years ago. We're not talking
Okay.
like Bell Canada was one of the major ones that he invested in. And there was others, obviously. Probably, I think, actually, yeah, it was Labatt's, Molson, Seagram's, Andres, all that, you know.
Okay.
But
Maggie. Oh yeah, we
okay,
just
I'll
want to
shut
keep
up.
ourselves. We just want to keep ourselves on topic, and just want to ask
Okay.
if anybody's got any other questions they'd love to ask before we wrap up.
I know I'm bad.
Well, we try to keep you in check. That's why we're helping out.
Yeah. But my grandfather was one of the finest men I ever knew, and I refuse to take that back.
Okay. Since
So I
we're
just want to make sure that everybody has, if they want to get in touch with Amber again, that they have her information. I just want to make sure that.
Yeah.
Yep, her contact info is in the chat, so you want to grab it before you leave.
Okay. Yeah.
So you just want to keep in contact. You can even try the demo account, try to blow your money virtually, and go like, okay, now I know what not to do.
No one's blowing any
I am
money.
interested.
Just
So I am very interested. I haven't heard much about this. I'm looking at sort of options. So
yeah, reach out. I have some pretty impressive people that are working directly with me. My mentor is a master trader of 30 years, ex-Wall Street investment banker. He is much older than me, much more experienced, and he is a super valuable asset for the overall experience that my customers have. You know, that software that I showed you guys, the one that's made the $17,000 since August, that's completely him. He set it up conservatively for this woman. You don't have to get someone to set it up for you, but if you want, like, I do have access to some pretty phenomenal resources that will help the whole experience go smoothly for you.
next, anyone who knows me knows I am technologically challenged.
Yeah.
Just a
We
quick
can
question.
help you.
Yep.
Just a quick question, Amber.
You're
before we
right.
ta-
I'm a damn good writer, but I'm technologically challenged. Okay, I'm just writing this down.
Yeah.
Or David, go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, before we close up here or kick off, where does the program farm the information from? I mean, how far reaching is it?
So I can only speak to the real deep technical stuff about the one that I'm, and not even that deep. I'm sorry, I'm not a programmer, but so it takes a number of things into account. So it's going to take your overall balance that you have into account. It's going to pull from, in Forex, I don't know if you know this, but they have all of the economic news that they post for the week for every single country. So if you're running any of those pairs, it's going to pull from news events, and there's a feature that shuts it off. On top of that, there's over 70 different algorithms that is programmed with price action, candlestick formations, different indicators. That's the extent of my knowledge about what all the algorithms entail, but it is a very, very, very complex software. And again, it was created by venture capital firms to mimic a professional trader, kind of the ultimate professional trader, one that can think bigger than a human and think about more things simultaneously.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I do have some videos. If you want to email me, I can share with you about that are hosted with the developer. If you're technically inclined and you want to know more about what they've put into each software, I would be happy to share that with you. And that's a bit more of a deeper dive into their process and what they've done and what they've used it and what applications they've used it in and things of that nature.
One thing I was going to ask you, like, I don't think you're doing this, but you do not have anything on the YouTube at all, any kind of lessons to learn and all this and that.
Auvoria Prime has a very active YouTube and Vimeo channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Very active. At any replays of any calls that we do for our manual trading softwares, for our EA algorithmic softwares, company updates, it's all on YouTube and Vimeo.
Oh, okay, Vimeo. You wouldn't be kind enough to put any link on the chat room here.
Yeah, let me I'll find the Vimeo channel. It's got hundreds of videos on there.
Yeah, if you could do that, that would be a real good help.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Let's see here, just pulling up the page. Okay, so this, yeah, there we go. We've loaded it up. All right, I'm coming on back, folks. There we go. All right, Andy, it's in there for you.
Thank you so much for that one.
You're welcome.
Okay, I copied the whole thing up.
Yeah, open that tab before they shut it down.
And there's no licensing or registration that we need to set up the account, correct?
No, you just sign up. We have a number of people that want to set it up through their business. You can set up through your business. You can set it up through your name, your wife's name, your kid, like whoever you want, really.
Oh, can I ask you another question? What
Sure.
makes Auvoria Prime different from its competitors? Because I think you said before that you've tried other softwares which haven't really worked. So what makes this like different from the other ones?
Well, the first point is what you just said is they work. The proof is in the pudding. The data doesn't lie. The historical data cannot be manipulated. So that's one thing. We have 6 softwares that have all been used at the highest professional levels. There is no other company in the Forex space, specifically in the technology space, that has that offering. And there is no other company that is going to allow you to run 4 softwares simultaneously at once.
So do you need all 4 softwares to be successful?
No, I've been running one my entire experience up until this point. It was only a couple of weeks ago that offering was even available. And part of it was to be the best in the industry. The second part was that our customers wanted it, so we provided it. There was a lot of back end work to make that happen, but we were able to. Essentially, like 1 to 5% a week conservatively. We're going to say, we're not going to sit here and kid ourselves and say that every single week you're going to come out in profit. Some weeks might be neutral. Some weeks you might be stuck in a few open trades and the software's got to work out of it. So we'll say 40 weeks out of 52, 1 to 5% a week, depends how conservative you are. And if you have 4 running, that means you get that 4 times. But if you try to do that with one software, you up the risk. You're putting your entire account on the chopping block. But now you can run 4, get your 1 to 5% a week or whatever you're happy with, and do that 4 times. So it mitigates the risk significantly of capturing more money from the markets. So you get to have a full Forex portfolio diversified.
And realistically, what's a basic investment? I mean, for an account.
Yeah, so a lot of people, especially if they're brand new to this, they just want to put the 1,000 in and see what happens. We do get often someone that comes by, they already invest, they're in real estate, they're in this or that, they're all in, they throw 10 grand in. But I would say the most common initial investment is about the $1,000 mark. But then when we get into countries that are like, we have a huge customer base in the Philippines and in different parts of Asia, and they don't have $1,000. So that's why we did bring on the software that'll allow the smaller balances. And of course, there are people in those countries that have less access to funds will start at the 250, but 250 isn't going to give in the Western world at the beginning that the returns are going to be tiny. you know, so the $1,000 is at least enough that if you are compounding at the rate that we discussed, that you will cover it, like over the course of a year, your subscription amount.
Yeah, that's probably the most important part, because it's a subscription that's cutting into your profits. You want to make sure you at least pay that off, and everything else is bonus, your money.
Well, that's
When people bring up the subscription price to me from the get-go, I show them a compound calculator. It's just the facts. You know, if we're talking about investing, who cares about month one? But especially like for me, that was something I was kind of like, I don't know, but I demoed it for 6 months. I didn't make a dime for 6 months, but I saw the vision and I really wanted to know what this thing was about. So I was able to remove that angst about the monthly subscription. And actually, when I first started, I was paying $200 a month. So the price that they're able to offer, because of the selection of tools that they have, being able to attract more customers, things like that, they were able to offer that lower price. And the price is the best I've seen in this industry, especially considering how well the tools work, because I have searched quite a while to get to the place that I am now with the products I have access to.
So Amber, when you started demoing this, were you there in Atlanta or here in Canada?
In Canada.
Okay, so
this was about 2 years ago.
Okay, so you demoed it, right, for 6 months, and then you saw the vision.
Yes.
What? Because you didn't just see the vision. You saw the vision packed up, and bless you. That was awesome. That was power. That was power, girl. Anyway, so
Hey, my mom always said Dad and I sound like foghorns.
Don't hold back. So you not only saw the vision, but you also packed up and you went down there. So what was it that you said that you saw that made you, say, okay, I'm gonna put the money in, I'm gonna do this thing off demo, like live? What was it?
Yeah, so it just kind of hit me one day. Like I had been searching for a very long time for like something that I wasn't trading time for money. I'd been exposed to Bitcoin and stuff, but I saw my ex lose $2.5 million in Bitcoin. And that didn't ruin his life. So I'm like, okay, I've watched someone go through this trading journey for 2 years, still losing this level of money. I don't have even $500,000 to play around with. And if I did, it would ruin my life if I lost it. So I just wasn't sure it was for me. So I had been hearing the word bot being thrown around, and I didn't, I wasn't in Bitcoin, so I didn't pursue it much further than that. And then I saw someone posting about AI, is someone in my network. So I was like, well, that sounds better than a bot, like just uneducated. Like it did sound better, and it actually is. But it just hit me one day when I was demoing. I was like, oh my God, like this is my ticket to not trading time for money anymore. Because for me, at one point in my life, I got out of the 9-to-5, I was freelancing, and I hated the fact that I could sit there and I could pretty much assume like my body can only handle working so many hours in a week, in a month, in a year. And my skill set is only ever going to be able to offer me X amount of dollars. I could calculate how much money I was going to make roughly for the rest of my life. And I wasn't sure what to do about that, because I'm like, okay.
How's it going to work? Yeah.
What do I love enough?
Yeah.
Yes.
How am I going to make it?
What am I going to do?
Okay.
So I started using it. I was demoing it. It snapped. It starts out really slow. I was demoing like $3,000, and then I saw I saw it make $20 when the first night I turned it on, and I was like, okay. But when it started getting higher and higher, and I knew what a compound calculator looked like, but I actually got to see it working, and then I saw it working even better, and then I was just like, one day I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I've got this money in a drawer that has depreciated by 1.7% between last year and this year from inflation, and it's just sitting in a drawer, and I'm here on a demo with this thing that's blowing my mind. So I chucked it in there, and I started getting connected more and more with other people that are on like entrepreneurs and flipping money. Like that's what this is all about. It's just flipping money. And I was like, this is what I've been looking for. Like, it was just like, I opened that door and I didn't even know it was the door I'd been looking for my whole life. So it was just amazing. You know, and it's so much more than money. It's like giving people a way that they can access these markets that have been notoriously dominated by the uber rich. It was only in the 90s when people could even access Forex. It was only because of brokers. And, you know, for the most part, up until now with technology, only 5% of the world outside of those institutions could even figure it out anyway. So it's just been this like really exclusive group. And Uber disrupted the taxi companies. Technology is just like blowing stuff out of the water. And I'm so happy to get a part of it, especially during these times. People are broke. People are starving. You know, I brought this down to some of my contacts in the Amazon jungle, the ones who can, you know, communicate with me in a way like, you know, like there's a lack of education down there with reading and writing, but I can communicate with some. And they're going to try this out because they're starving down there right now because they don't know, they can't speak English, so they can't even work online. But I can show them this because we have it in Spanish. You can put $250 in it and, you know, never have to worry about whether COVID-19 is going to shut down your business or not and what you're going to do. So it's like, you know, like I really feel like I'm able to help people in a way that they've never had been able to help themselves in terms of making money. And it feels really good because I am not motivated by money. I love what it offers me, the freedom and things like that. But it's like, if there's only money on the table, I can't get behind it. But like, I love
Although money's
what
good.
I do.
Like, yeah, money's good.
I'm a Scotsman. I'm all about the money back there.
That's right.
The money's got to be in there. I guess
Yeah.
if we were only making money and we weren't helping people, it wouldn't be worth it.
David,
And I
I'm just
got
trying to
blood.
figure out.
I've got Scott blood in me too, apparently.
Yeah. You know, David, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to shoot a picture of myself, just like this, so I can have it as my background. So when I leave the room, that's absolutely the best thing. I thought, what is happening?
Well, that's what you do. What you do is you do that, and then you go blank, and then you step off the screen, and then you turn it back on again, and there you go. Go do what you gotta do, and then you come back.
I love it.
Just looks like your
That is the
screen
best.
froze.
Is that not great? Oh man.
Smart.
It's gonna be so much different. It would like, okay, everybody, we're gonna open the service right now. Hang on, screen goes blank. Okay. I'm just pretending.
I feel like this was inspired by a devious thing to get out of some sort of work.
No, I think it's just great. At least now I'm gonna have to always now, whenever you come on one of our calls, David, I'm gonna have to say, David, so what do you think?
I'm just sitting there.
That's right. No, I have to tell you, Amber, that last section that you just went on with, I started to see what David meant when he said, okay, come on, you know, excite me here, come on, because you know, that was pretty good. Anybody else have any questions on that?
Looks like
She
we're
had me
good.
at, well, I started back in, that was awesome.
The story, yes.
Yes.
Yes, the story is important. And
Absolutely.
yeah, my
Mhm.
story is that it changed the course of my life, opening that door. I didn't realize it for a little bit, but eventually I caught on and packed my bags, and here we are.
Well, Amber, if you don't mind, I'm gonna get in contact with you, and I've got a bunch of people down here in Windsor.
Oh, perfect.
So I'll see about setting you up with a Zoom for some of the people down here.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, no, I'm always happy to speak to a group for sure. So yeah, get in touch. You text me, phone me, WhatsApp, email, whatever works for you. And I'll make myself available.
Sure. Appreciate it.
Okay.
I
And on
appreciate the platform tonight.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
really good, really
Yeah.
informative.
And
Yeah.
on that note, I want to thank everyone for joining tonight's Investing 2021. every Wednesday night from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Even though we're a little off, but it was just that damn good. Now, if you haven't joined as a citizen, join today. Receive a spam-free monthly newsletter about our upcoming shows, updates, and extra goodies. To contact us, you can find my contact at thisgreatcity.com under the Scarborough region, Celeste Financials. For Melissa's, it's under the Mississauga region, Melissa Reymond. Have yourselves a great night, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Have a
Good
great
night,
night.
everyone.
Thanks, Amber.
Thank you.
Hey,
Good night, everyone.
Good night.